day, sir. My name is Takahiro Kuno from VS Mari third year. This is my report today. So, question number 1. What is the purpose of ISO in an institution? So, answer. The ISO, International Organization for Standardization, is a worldwide federation of national standard bodies. ISO is a non-governmental organization that comprises standard bodies from more than 160 countries, with one standard body representing each member countries. ISO standards are designed to make products or services better and to make companies, governments, and other organizations more efficient. Some standards are designed for specific industries like the food industry or designed to help improve the environment. Their purpose was to create sets of rules for the design of industrial products so that the organization could produce goods which were comparable in their key aspects. The standardization of products and services increased considerable in the course of the 20th century and was intensified toward its end in newly deregulated industries such as telecommunication. So, bisa kung nasabtan sir, ang ISO is maunay ga-handle tanan like mag-apply ka sa private company, diha ta mag-apply tanan, etc. Question number 2. Explain how important is ISO in institution. Cite at least 2 examples of its importance. Answer. The modern and globalized world cannot exist without standards which are supporting cooperation, trade, health, safety, and economic growth, etc. In fact, standards exist in almost all aspects of modern life. They range from standards in information and communication technology, which ensure the interoperability of diverse components, to standards for the quality of products or services, and underlie areas ranging from the harmonization of international accounting system to the governance of the social and environmental performance of the organizations. Its importance to institution is to help organizations to communicate better and reduce the potential for confusion throughout the supply chain in each area of operation and helps to raise the confidence for investors, customers, and partners, and use every day by organizations, manufacturers, public bodies, and other users as a tool for managing vital issues such as trade, regulation, quality, health, and safety, new technology, energy efficiency, environmental impact, as well as connectivity and interoperability, etc. Based akong nasabtan sa anak nga questions or answer rather, ah una siya gahatag sa tuwag health, sa safety economic, sa muna siya para sayon rata maka-access, maka-communicate sa bisan kinsa sa like sa atong pamilya, sa layo man ta sa lagi sa cellphone, lagi sa gadget karon nga generation. Question number 3. Explain what is the purpose of having a occupational health and safety standard for seafarers. Answer number 3. Occupational health and safety is the field of public health that studies trends and illnesses and injuries in the workers' population and purposes and implements strategies and regulation to prevent them. It is scope in broad, encompassing a wide variety of disciplines. In seafarers, the purpose of the occupational health and safety is to help reduce exposure to hazardous conditions like the chemical and oil tanker, to establish diagnosis after identification of causal factors and the assessed with workplace adjustment for patients, rehabilitation and insurance, compensation and support the health promotion activities and the community rather by including implementary activities among seafarers, shipping companies, maritime authorities and health professionals rather. Okay, based sa akong nasabtan ana sir kay health and safety meaning kailangan nga himsog atong lawas kay kita narabaho sa barko para malayo ta sa mga sakit-sakit, kailangan mulikay ta sa mga makadaot nga like mga chemical, mga oil tank kay dili na maayos tong lawas, kailangan nga mag-amping ta sa atong kalawasan kay nahanglan yun na siya og safety first, dapat safety first din siya. Question number 4. What are the different functions and competences needed to become an officer in charge of engineering watch OIC EW and explain by function and by competences needed to become an officer in charge of engineering watch OIC EW. Mandatory minimum requirements for certification of officer in charge of an engineering watch in a manned engine room or designated duty engineer in a vertically unmanned engine room. So, answer number 1. Training. The education and training required by paragraph 2.3 of regulation should include training in mechanical and electrical workshop skills relevant to the duties of an engineer officer. Number 2. Onboard training. Every candidate for certification as officer in charge of an engineering watch in a manned engine room or as designated duty engineer in a vertically unmanned engine room of ships powered by main propulsion machinery of 750 kilowatts or more should follow and approved program of onboard training which ensure that during the required period of seagoing service the candidates receive systematic practical training and experience in the tasks, duties, and responsibilities of an officer in charge of an engine room watch, taking into account so guidance given in section B 31 of this code is closely supervised and monitored by a qualified and certificated engineer officer aboard the ships in which the approved seagoing service is performed and is adequately documented in the training record book. Number 3. Standard of competence. Every candidate for certification an officer in charge of an engineer in watch in a manned engine room or as designated duty engineer C periodically unmanned engine room on a seagoing ship powered by main propulsion machinery of 750 kilowatts propulsion power or more shall be required to demonstrate ability to undertake at the operational level the task, duty, and responsibilities listed in column 1 of the table E31. Number 4. The minimum knowledge, understanding, and proficiency required for certification is listed in column 2 of EBO A31. Number 5. The level of knowledge of the material lesson in the column 2 of table E31 shall be sufficient for engineer officer to carry out their watchkeeping duties. Number 6. Training and experience to achieve the necessary theoretical knowledge, understanding, and proficiency shall be based on section A1 part 3.2 principles to be observed in keeping an engineering watch and should take into account the relevant requirements of this part and the guidance given in part B of this code. Number 7. Candidate for certification for service in ships in which steam boiler do not form part of their machinery may sign the relevant requirements of Table E31. A certificate awarded on such a basis BSIC shall not be valid for service on ships in which steam boiler form part of a ship's machinery until the engineer officer meets the standard of competence in the item omitted from table E31. Any such limitation shall be stated on the certificate and in the endorsement. Number 8. Every candidate for certification shall be required to provide evidence of having achieved the required standard of competence in accordance with the methods for demonstrating competence and the criteria for evaluating competence tabulated in columns 3 and 4 of table A31. Number 9. Near coastal voyage, the requirements of paragraph 2.2 and 2.3 of Regulation 3.1 may be barred for engineer officer of ships powered by main propulsion machinery of less than 3,000 kilowatt propulsion power engage on near coastal voyage, bearing in mind the effect on the safety of all ships which may be operating in the same waters. Any such limitation shall be stated on the certificate and the endorsement.